Okay, so this video is going to be different from my usual ones. It's not going to be a My Rise video or a Sims 4, as you can see from this beautiful game called Goat Simulator right here that I honestly haven't played in so long. But this video, we're going to talk about Wrestlemania 38. The Wrestlemania that just happened over the course of the weekend, and I'm going to go through every match, give my opinions on each of the matches, alright, and then give my overall opinion of the show afterward. Maybe throw in a little bit of Raw after Mania in that mix. So I don't necessarily know if I have these matches in order, but they're going to be on the respective night regardless. So first up is the Usos versus Nakamura and Rick Boogs for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. This match was pretty good. They did the damn thing. Okay, they did what they did what they had to. It was a pretty decent match, up until the point. Well, I can't really fault them for this because it was unforeseen on all parties. By all parties, I should say. Rick Boogs got an injury in the match, which was pretty unfortunate for him, and I wish him the best in getting that better, recovering. It was a good match. The Usos retained, obviously. As much as I love Shinsuke and Rick Boogs, I didn't think they were going to be the ones to dethrone them, of course. It was a pretty decent match. Next up is Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. Again, another match that is decent, is good back and forth a little bit. There was this fantastic moment where Drew McIntyre kicked out of the End of Days, which, if you didn't know, the End of Days is one finishing move that nobody before Drew has ever kicked out of. So it was a very protected move. It was very 2 for 1. It was good. Drew McIntyre won with a Claymore kick, and
Aww.
it was pretty good match. Next up is the Miz and Logan Paul versus the Mysterios. This match I knew was for like entertainment purposes. Because it's a celebrity. But Logan Paul was actually pretty good in it.
Is that a llama?
Not as good as, say, Bad Bunny or whatever, but still pretty good. He did some moves. He did 3 amigos with a frog splash, mocking Eddie Guerrero, of course. But it was a good match. And the next match, possibly one of my favorite matches of the night. Seth Rollins versus a mystery opponent who was revealed to be Cody Rhodes. And I was very excited to see Cody Rhodes back in a WWE ring. There was a massive pop for him. Him and Seth did a fantastic job at performing. They put on a fantastic match together. They worked well together. It was very, very good. Cody ended up getting the win, which was great for Cody. He won with the Crossroads, which, I'm be honest, I didn't watch AEW at all, so I'm pretty sure he did Crossroads in AEW, so I didn't see that move for like 6 years, since the last time he was in the WWE, and I loved it so much. And he came out with the American Nightmare theme as the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, which was very... Oh, I didn't fly, which was very, very great. And then probably moving on to what is probably the greatest or best women's match of the night, or dare I say, of WrestleMania. Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. Fantastic match. Oh my god. These two women worked their asses off. Great back and forth. There was a great moment where Bianca flipped over, or flipped out of a move using the corner turnbuckles, and then delivered the kiss of death to Becky Lynch, and winning 1, 2, 3. So she's the new Raw Women's Champion, which is great to see, honestly. I love Bianca Belair. She deserves it. She's a great competitor. She's, great at her job. And this next match is possibly... I don't want to say disappointment, because I enjoyed it a little bit. I just noticed I'm walking, like, the same areas. Oh, back. But, I wouldn't say this match is a disappointment. Because, you gotta give them credit for what they did in the match they were able to pull off and whatnot. Oh, I almost blow up. Oh, now it did. Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. It wasn't necessarily a bad match, like I said. It was just... I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't... Okay, here, I'll say this. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it was mid. Mid for what it was, and Charlotte winning off of the big boot. I feel like it could have ended differently, but, it is what it is. Charlotte retains, nobody liked it. I think Ronda should have won, but I don't know. She'll probably win at WrestleMania Backlash, let's be honest. There it is. So, it wasn't ideal of a match, but, what are you gonna do? Oh, I missed it. And then, finally, moving on to the main event of night 1. Kevin Owens, the KO show with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Kevin Owens came out. I'm pretty sure he talked more trash about Texas. Stone Cold came out on his little RV thing. RV thing? I don't know, ATV four-wheeler thing. RV, I think, is a trailer thing. But he came out with his four-wheeler, which was great to see. And it soon turned into I think it was a no-holds-barred match. And it was great seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestle again, I'll be honest with you. It was fantastic seeing that. Kevin Owens delivered there was a great spot where Kevin Owens suplexed Stone Cold onto the concrete out by the audience. And I don't know. I'm assuming Stone Cold wouldn't have done that if he didn't think he could take it. So I don't necessarily think I was worried for him, but it was a great moment. And then Kevin Owens stunned Stone Cold in the ring, which I thought was going to get him the win for a second, because it was a very, very delayed pause at 2. No, very delayed kick out at 2, which suspenseful, I guess. Oh, I missed it. And it was, and Stone Cold then stunned. There's a really funny spot where Kevin Owens hit the steel chair onto the rope and it bounced back and hit him in the face. Really funny. He stumbled, Stone Cold hit him with a stunner, and then 1, 2, 3, and then he stunned him again, which was great. Fantastic. I loved it. And Kevin Owens got escorted out by a couple of police officers, which I found really entertaining. I'll go to a different map for night 2. All in all, night 1 was very entertaining. I think it picked up more towards the middle, and then fell off a little bit, and then ended. It fell off with Charlotte and Ronda, I should specify, and then ended very great, very amazing with the main event with Kevin and Stone Cold. Moving on to night 2, we have the Raw Tag Team Championship match, the triple threat. Randy and Riddle versus Alpha Academy versus the Street Profits. These 3 teams did amazing with each other. It wasn't a long match, but it was just long enough for each superstar to like show off what they're good at. And there's a moment where Riddle hit this amazing RKO off of the top rope to Montez Ford. Got one loud ass pop. Holy God. And it was a good match. It was a fantastic match. Oh, you were followed. Not really much else to say. Oh, there's one thing. Toward the end of it, Randy and Riddle retained. And they were going to do a celebration with the Street Profits. You know, Montez Ford came to the ring with his solo cup, poured with solo cups, handed one to Randy and Riddle. Poured something into it. I'm assuming water or something. And Chad Gable. Oh boy. And okay. And Chad Gable interfered, breaking up the moment. And Gable Steveson then got involved from the crowd because they wanted to celebrate Gable Steveson. They got into the ring, and Chad Gable broke up the moment, got into a little confrontation with Gable Steveson. I completely missed that, and he suplexed him. I think it was a belly to belly overhead suplex. I honestly can't wait to see Gable Steveson in the ring. I feel like he's gonna be really good, especially if he gets in the ring with Chad Gable, like 2 actual Olympic wrestlers. That'd be really neat. But overall, very fantastic segment. Very good match. Moving on to Bobby Lashley versus Omas, which obviously I don't think anyone expected this match to be technical on a technical level, or anything like that. If he did, kind of stupid, because it's Omas. The guy can't really, not to insult him or be disrespectful to Omas, but he can't really like move that fast or like do a lot, except for like 3 moves. It's just what he is. It's what he's there for. Bobby was getting his ass kicked for a good amount of time. Speared him a couple times, once in the back, once forward, and he beat Omas, which was great. Woo! It was good for what it was, I'll say that. Very good for what it was.
What's that doing here?
Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. One of the most entertaining matches I have ever watched. It was a bunch of shenanigans, but you knew what you were getting into, right? You know that's what it was going to be, since it was Johnny Knoxville. The jackass guys got involved. There were mousetraps on the table. There was a giant mousetrap. There was a giant hand that came out of nowhere and slapped Sami Zayn. Slapped the taste out of his mouth. Can I go in here? Oh, I can. It was there was a moment when Johnny Knoxville rolled a bowling ball into Sami Zayn's hold on. Into Sami Zayn's, you know, no part. And the entire match was just very entertaining as a whole. I hope no one went into the match thinking it was gonna be, you know, like a regular wrestling match, because why would you think that? I loved it though. It was great. Johnny won using the giant mousetrap to pin Sami, shoulders down, got on top of him, and then the ref counted 1, 2, 3. So, and people say they hate when celebrities come into wrestling and stuff, but it's like, when celebrities come to wrestling, you know you're more than likely going to get a very entertaining match, because WWE usually goes like almost all out for that type of thing, especially Johnny Knoxville with all the stuff he's done in his career in Jackass. So yeah, it's a very good match. Johnny Knoxville picked up the win. You got to see the Jackass guys. Very good. And then we move on to the Women's Tag Team Championship match, which was Queen Zelina and Carmella being the defending champions versus Sasha and Naomi, Rhea and Liv, and Natalya and Shayna Baszler. It was a very decent match. Nothing out of the ballpark with this one. But, you know, I'm not gonna discredit WWE for that, you know. I'm not gonna discredit the women either, you know. It is what it is. It's not like it was bad. It wasn't mid. It was a little over mid, maybe. It was still a very good match. And Sasha and Naomi picked up the win, won the titles. Can't wait to see what they're gonna do with them. If anything interesting, but you know, they barely gave the women's tag titles attention when Carmella and Zelina had them. So we'll see what they do with Sasha and Naomi, I guess. And next up was the match that I was kind of looking forward to, and I don't necessarily know if I had any expectations going into the night. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. This match was very good. Excellent match. Pat McAfee really surprised everyone. Came out with some great moves, great wrestling. I feel like Pat McAfee should be moved to being a wrestler instead of a commentator with how he performed in this. But that might just be me. I don't think it is, because I think I've watched other people review WrestleMania 38 and they've said the same thing about it. But I loved it. Pat McAfee did win with a surprise roll-up. I think Austin Theory was going for his finisher. McAfee countered and rolled him up for the 1, 2, 3, which was okay. You know, endings like that are okay once in a while, and that was like the only one of that nature on WrestleMania, which was surprising, which was great. But yeah, Pat McAfee won. And then afterwards, Vince McMahon took off his jacket and got into the ring. And then he and Pat McAfee had a match, and Vince won, which was okay. You know, he's the boss. I guess he can do whatever he wants. I still think Pat McAfee had a hell of a time out there. He still had fun out there. So, and moving on to the dream match that honestly I think lived up to the expectations. Edge versus AJ Styles. This match was very good. I've seen some people pooping all over it, but it's like, I've heard some other people say this. I think it might have been Simon from What Culture. I think, maybe not. It could have been one of the others I watch. But it's about the storytelling in the match. Sometimes it's not about the actual match. Sometimes it's about the storytelling in the match that the wrestlers can do. If the wrestlers are talented enough to be able to tell a story with their moves and not words, which these two did. They had great chemistry. They worked off each other really well. They, it was great. And this Edge hit this devastating spear when AJ was going for the phenomenal forearm. Whew. It was great. It was I liked the match. I loved it. Damian Priest got involved. Not physically, but he was there as a distraction, which caused Edge to hit that spear off the phenomenal forearm. Get the 1-2-3 over AJ. The rivalry's probably not over, as I've seen on the Raw after Mania. But it looks like Edge and Damian Priest are starting a new stable, maybe? If there's gonna be a third person in it, which I hope there is, because that'd be really good. Edge was in the Brood, so maybe that's like a version of what they're going for. I'd be okay with it. I think that's all with that match. And finally, the main event of the second night, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Undisputed Championship winner-take-all match. I think it was around 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. It's finisher, pinfall, low blow, knockout referee first, and then low blow, and then finisher, pin. Brock did have the Kimura lock in there. Looked like Roman might have been on the brink of tapping. Got out of it. Spear him a couple times. Got the pin. Roman's Undisputed Champion, which I expected. I didn't think Brock was gonna win, to be honest with you. Roman was gonna win that all the way. The head of the table, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns is honestly one of my favorite wrestlers now. Yeah, it was a very decent match for what it was. I'll say that. Interested to see what they do afterward with it. Like, who will be the next challenger for Roman, and who eventually will be the one to end his title reign, because that has to happen eventually. Is there anything interesting to do in this map, or am I just running around blatantly? But yeah, it was great. And that concludes night 2 of WrestleMania. And overall, I think it was a very good WrestleMania. I don't necessarily know if I want to say it's one of the best we've had in recent years, but I feel like it's up there. It's very amazing. It does kind of live up to stupendous. The most stupendous WrestleMania. It kind of does live up to that. So I think of the entire show, the entirety of the 2 nights, my two great. My two favorite moments, or my favorite moments, were Cody returning, Stone Cold returning, Pat McAfee's match. Like, I mean, there were a lot of great other ones, like, you know, Edge, Styles, and Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. You know, I'm not trying to take away anything from any of the matches here, really. You know, everyone performed very well. They did what they did. You know, they did what they had to. Holy crap! And yeah, it's a very amazing show, very stupendous show, I should say. I'm sorry. I guess I'm kind of looking forward to WrestleMania, but I face the fence. Oh, you can just break it? I guess you... Okay. I guess I am kind of looking forward to WrestleMania Backlash. To see what happens. I suppose we can all guess what the matches are going to be. Probably just rematches of WrestleMania. Hence Backlash. Oh shoot. But, you know. Okay. Yeah. It was a great match. It was a great match. It was a great time. Stupendous event. Loved it. I'm probably gonna give it like 8 or 9 out of 10 stars. 7 minimum. This is my personal opinion. Yeah. I'll see you. I'll talk to you next video, I guess. Which I think will be a Sims 4 Rags to Riches video. Alright. Talk to you then.